Most people look at the medieval times through romantic eyes. They picture gallant knights clanking around in armor, fair ladies in pointy hats, castles with moats, and some dramatic courtly love saga playing out in the halls. But the reality? It was filthy, it was brutal, and it would probably kill you. Let's find out exactly why you, a modern, soft-skinned mortal, would be very, very dead within 24 hours of landing in medieval England. Welcome to the human era. The romanticized image of medieval life ignores the brutal reality. Most people were peasants living in cramped villages, working hard under feudal lords. Disease, hunger, and poor living conditions were daily realities, not fairy tales. Let's say some freak wormhole opens and you're dropped smack into a medieval village. No warning, no weapons, no phone, just you, your 21st century body, and whatever hoodie you happen to be wearing. The locals? They're speaking Middle English, which sounds like a mix of Shakespeare, a sore throat, and complete nonsense to modern ears. You can't understand them. They can't understand you. Most people lived in small, rural villages and were deeply suspicious of outsiders. Middle English was the norm, a dialect so different from modern English it's essentially a foreign language. Freemen were rare. Most were villains who couldn't move or marry without a lord's permission. Hygiene was a myth, so you stumble into a hut. It's dark, smoky, and smells like a barn. That's because it is a barn. The family lives with their animals. Literally. There's a pig sleeping next to the fire and no chimney, so the room is filled with eye-watering smoke. No windows, no soap, no toilets, no privacy. You thought festival portaloos were bad? Try a wooden bucket, if you're lucky. Otherwise, it's the street. You start gagging. Your immune system starts panicking, and you've already inhaled bacteria that your modern body has zero defense against. Peasant huts were made of wattle and daub, with thatch roofs and no windows. Fires burned in the center without chimneys, creating smoky, unhealthy conditions. Animals were kept inside, and waste was thrown in the street. Towns were crowded and lacked sanitation, contributing to disease outbreaks. Dinner? Hope you like gruel. You're hungry. Big mistake. There's no pasta, no snacks, no Deliveroo. You get a bowl of pottage, basically watery stew made from cabbage, oats, and whatever root vegetable hasn't rotted yet. If you're a villain, and you are, by default, you owe most of what you grow to the Lord. Villains were legally tied to the land and had to give a portion of their harvest to the Lord, as well as pay a tithe, 10% to the church. Food was basic and plant-based: bread, pottage, and small garden vegetables. Water sources were often contaminated due to lack of sanitation. Welcome to Disease Central. You think you're safe inside? Cute. The Black Death is just one village away. There are no antibiotics, no doctors, just leeches, bleeding, and herbal cures that smell like garlic and regret. Cough once, and people either avoid you like you're cursed or accuse you of being a witch. Either way, it's not great for your health. Oh, and tetanus? That rusty nail in the barn probably just gave it to you. The Black Death killed tens of millions across Europe. There were no antibiotics, no germ theory, and poor sanitation. Town waste and butchers' scraps in rivers helped spread disease. Illness could lead to accusations of heresy or witchcraft. Even minor infections were often fatal. Law and no order. Say you accidentally bump into someone's cart or touch the wrong cow. Congratulations, you're now a criminal. There's no police. Just a mob of villagers and a local lord who decides your punishment. Steal bread? Into the stocks. Caught lying? Fined or whipped. Say something weird because you don't speak the language. Trial by ordeal. Time to stick your hand in boiling water to prove your innocence. Hope you've got a high pain threshold and clean healing wounds. Otherwise, it's game over. Law was informal and local. Communities were grouped into tithings, where all men were responsible for each other's behavior. The hue and cry system meant the whole village had to pursue criminals. For serious accusations, trial by ordeal was common. Boiling water, red-hot iron, with healing time determining guilt. You're not as smart as you think. You can read? Big deal. Most people in medieval times couldn't, and now you're just making people suspicious. You're not a priest. You're not a noble, and you're definitely not a peasant, based on your accent, weird clothes, and lack of basic survival skills. You've got no trade, no land, no name anyone recognizes, so your only options are starve, be enslaved, or be mistaken for a demon and burned. Fun times. Most people didn't attend school. Schooling was expensive and mostly limited to the wealthy or religious orders. Children learned to farm or help with domestic work. Women spun wool and managed the household. Literacy was rare, so being able to read or write would have been highly unusual and even threatening. You probably wouldn't make it to nightfall. Between infection, confusion, starvation, and good old public execution, you're not making it past your first 24 hours. Even if you somehow survive the diseases, the language barrier, and the rotting turnip stew, you still have to deal with backbreaking labor, freezing nights, and the social nightmare of being a landless, godless, toiletless weirdo in a world that doesn't know what a hoodie is. While life expectancy at birth was low, about 31, this was mainly due to high infant mortality. Those who reached adulthood could often live into their 50s or beyond. But surviving required resilience from childhood, good luck, and the ability to endure poor nutrition, extreme weather, and disease. So no, the medieval times weren't full of fairy tale romance and knightly honor. They were nasty, dangerous, and wildly unforgiving. And while some people did live long lives back then, the ones who did, they were tough, hardened, disease-proof, and used to pooping in a bucket. You'd last about a day, maybe. This is the human error. Thanks for watching. And remember to wash your hands, drink clean water, and never time travel without a plan.